This is Triggered.
And you will be.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to all of you in the lands near and far.
Yes, I know. It's honestly, we're always so surprised when we get messages and they're like, I'm in Thailand listening to you. And we're like, what?
Wow, I know. And can I come there?
Can we visit? Please. Ashley, do you know what I was doing early this morning while laying in bed?
Tell me.
Looking at Airbnbs in Salem.
This is everything to me. I cannot wait for a road trip. We're going to have road snacks. We're going to eat gumbo. We're going to, I don't know. I have so many things that I want to do. I want to go to little witchy gardens. I want to see everything. I'm going to be like
Everything.
frolicking through the friggin'
Oh,
streets.
I actually don't think the guys fully understand how we're going to be there.
No, absolutely not. They have no idea.
They have no idea. I will become like 15-year-old Chantel.
Yes.
I'll
I'm
be
already
crying.
15-year-old Ashley. Like I live my life like I'm
I mean,
a toddler.
yeah, me
so.
too. Me too. Me too.
Before we get into your story, I had this like weird thing happen and it's devastating. It's so sad. So recently, my husband and I moved. We lived closer to downtown Ottawa than we do now. We're a couple kilometers up the road, but we used to walk past this building and you'd see kids in the window. It's a high rise, as all buildings are in Ottawa. And this is so weird for me because every time we would walk by, I would say, oh my God, a kid's going to fall out of there. Oh my God, a kid's going to fall out of
I
there.
know.
This is something that I thought about every time I walk past.
I know.
And it was like something that it would never leave my brain every time I would walk by. So the day before yesterday, I'm looking on, Ottawa news, what's going on in our community, blah, blah, blah. And I see a baby, like a little child, fell out of a window out of the exact building that I was thinking of and passed away.
Yeah.
And I literally felt almost guilt because I was like, I've literally been thinking about this exact building. I've had this feeling for so long. Should I have done something? But how?
No.
I can't get in the building. But like the fact of the matter is, I've thought about this and thought about this and thought about this. And as a mom, I had this moment where I was like, I failed because I knew.
No. You know what? Yes, but at the same time, there's nothing you could have done.
And
Even if you had somehow been able to speak to the parents or something, like there's nothing you could have done.
and there's
People are
so
going to
many
live the way they're going to
families in
live.
that building. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know what
Mhm.
like what am I going to do? Buzz everyone and be like, "Hi, be
No.
really careful about your windows because your baby could fall out." Anyways, it's been on my mind to the point where it crosses my mind a dozen times a day, and it's like this weight that I'm feeling. And I feel
I
really
know.
bad, and I'm so sorry to the
I know.
family. This baby, kids are kids, and they're gonna,
Yep.
it's just one of those
We can
things.
only do so much. And I don't know their situation. I don't know where they were at. I don't know why it happened, but it's just there are freak accidents, and we
Yep.
can all sit here and say, well, I would have done this or I would have done this. But really, you don't know unless you're in that situation.
Yeah.
You can't begin to know what the right thing to do would have been, so,
And there's
really
always
sad.
like, especially when you're a mom, like, I know the weight of being a single mom, trying
Yeah.
to get in a quick shower. I used to lock my daughter in the bathroom with me so I can have a quick
Yes.
shower playing peekaboo. Um,
Yes.
and we had a freak accident with my daughter. I mean, she wasn't harmed in any way, but she ate an entire tube of toothpaste one time.
Right? And this is it. This is the thing where parents carry so much guilt because they do rely on us
Yes,
100% for all their decisions, all of their safety, all of their everything. But at the same time, like shit happens.
it
Shit
happens.
happens.
So my
It's
heart
very
goes out to
sad.
that family. I am
Yeah.
so incredibly sorry. You know,
Yeah.
there's
I know.
nothing else
I
that can
know.
really be said, but hopefully they find
No.
peace.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say because I cannot wait to tell you this case.
Let's dive in.
And I feel like you've heard of it. I really do. But I don't know how much of it you actually know. So I'm excited. I'm like pumped for this. So, Ashley, I'm an opinionated girly. I have thoughts. I have
Yes, you
so
do.
many thoughts. I I have I would say 99% of the cases that we cover here I have an opinion. I have a thought. I have an idea of what I think happened, especially for the ones that we don't know.
Mhm.
But this case is probably the single case in my brain repertoire where I have not a fucking clue what happened here.
Stop. Not even an
I don't
inkling?
I don't have a thought. I don't have an opinion. I got nothing. Nothing.
Well, there's a first for
So
everything.
I know, I know. So I'm actually really fascinated. I was excited when I decided to do this one because I was like, I need to know what other people
Mhm.
think. If you have an opinion on this, if you think you know something or you have an inkling as to what in the fuck went down here, please message us after this. And if you're one of our members, you know we're going to be talking about it in our chat.
Let's go.
All right. I'm taking you to Ohio. We love a good Ohio.
Uh, Chantel loves Ohio.
I love Ohio.
Mhm.
I mean, to be fair, it is the only state I have ever been to in my life. So I can't
Oh, okay.
really,
Fair.
I'm not really comparing it to any other state, but I don't know. My experience there has been lovely. I think you have a beautiful state.
I've never been to Ohio. I've been to plenty of states, but that's one I've never
Mhm.
been to, and I'm very, very much looking forward to coming.
Yeah, you should 100% come with us. We have a good time. So I'm taking you to Circleville, Ohio. It's about 30 miles south of Columbus. It's small, it's tight knit. And like, wait, I feel like a broken record because we say this every single episode. It was one of those places where everybody knows what car you drive, what time you leave for work in the morning, the kind of town where like the neighbors know your kids' names
Mhm.
and the dogs' names and probably have opinions about your landscaping. And Ash, I was like, "We're going to Circleville because they're famous. Circleville's a famous town. Would you like to know for what?
Yeah,
It has an annual pumpkin show.
that's why we're going to Circleville.
There's pumpkins everywhere. There's jack-o'-lanterns everywhere. There's casseroles. There's little markets. There's like they go hard. I read somewhere that like 300,000 people come for Pumpkin Fest.
Okay, I need to tell you something because I'm gonna probably get my ass handed to me for this, but I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin anything. I like fake pumpkin flavor, like, I'm a basic bitch, like, I like 1 pumpkin spice latte a year, but
We're
that's as
doing
far as I
one.
go with the pumpkin. Ugh.
Um, I mean, I like pumpkin things. Oh, I will fuck with a good pumpkin muffin.
Oh, yeah. You know what, though? It has to be the
Ooh.
Tim Hortons one with the cream
Oh.
cheese filling.
Oh, that is really good. And they have the pumpkin seeds on it too.
Yeah, they
Delicious.
do. I do
Delicious.
like that. I You know what? I do like the pumpkin seeds. I roast them with my kids every year.
All right.
Okay, so I don't hate pumpkin. Okay,
I
carry
just
on.
my thing with this is like to go to a little town and for it to be just full of hundreds of thousands of like jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins. That is my vibe. I want that. Let's go.
Alright, fine, we'll go.
Okay. Our story begins in the beginning of 1977. Mary Gillespie is a mom, wife, and a school bus driver, and she is stupid beautiful. You know, like that old Hollywood look?
Yes.
Mary
I
had it.
don't think our listeners know that little tidbit about me that I've never shared. I was a school bus driver.
Oh, yeah.
I drove school bus for 4 years when my son was very young
Yeah,
because I
that's
was
right.
so terrified of putting my kids on a bus, so I was like, "Well, then
Yeah.
I'll become the bus driver." I was a school bus driver, believe it or
I
not.
remember this. It's so fun. We've had so many lives.
So many
You and I
lives.
have done so many things. So that was Mary, like just drop dead gorgeous, good mom, good wife, driving the school bus every day. She's running around like a working mom does and grabs the mail from their mailbox. She scans through it. There's bills, invitations, a card, flyers, but one catches her eye. It's addressed to Mrs. Ron Gillespie, which I understand we've come a long way, but for those of you that don't know, there was a time in our history where you could not address a letter to a married woman to her name. It was not Mrs. Mary Gillespie. It was Mrs. Ron Gillespie because you belonged to your husband.
Even now, like, since we've come so far, I've been to weddings where they're like, "Mr. and Mrs. Michael Nickerson," and I'm like,
The fuck? I know. It's weird to me. I mean, it's weird to us because we've come a long way. But,
mhm.
anyways, she knew it was addressed to her. So she opens it up, and what she reads inside has her scratching her head and sending shivers down her spine. And I'm going to read you the letter. So it's a lined piece of paper, like what the kids would have at school. It's all block letters. It says, Mrs. Gillespie, stay away from Massey. Don't lie when questioned about meeting him. I know where you live. I've been observing your house and know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it seriously. Everyone concerned has been notified and everything will be over soon.
Who the fuck is Massey?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
It's referring to Gordon Massey, who was the school superintendent. And Gordon and Mary certainly knew each other. She was a school bus driver. He worked at the school. And there are rumors that we'll cover in a bit, but in all honesty, Mary wasn't sure what to do here. So she did nothing because what are you going to do? She's like looking at this going like and my thought is the first thing I would be is like some fucking dumb teenager is screwing around. Like I don't know. But then another one came the week after that. This one had more details about her and her life, her bus number, her bus route, etc., etc. Now, the second letter sent Mary into a tailspin, and she had to tell her husband, Ron, what was going on. So I imagine the conversation was like, I received this letter last week. Here it is. Just received another one. It's really weird. This letter said, I will come to your house and put a bullet in that little girl's head, referring to Mary and Ron's daughter.
Shut up.
So Now we're scared.
This is
And
wild.
I know. And even Ron, her husband, received his own addressed letter during this time, and it was threatening. If it basically said if Ron doesn't do something about his wife and Gordon Massey's affair, Ron's life would be in danger.
Okay, was there an affair?
More on that later.
Okay.
More on that later. So every single letter they received referenced this affair that Superintendent Massey and Mary were having. The writer went on and on about how badly they wanted Gordon Massey to go down. So Mary is swearing to her husband there was nothing going on. She's like, I'm not having an affair with Gordon. I don't know what this letter writer is talking about. But of course, Ron doesn't know what to believe because let me tell you something. If Matt and I started getting letters or texts where this person was repeatedly saying, like, he's having an affair with this person, there would be suspicion. Like, I would
Well,
be like,
yes.
what is going on?
100%. There's no way you're not gonna be suspicious. You're
No,
looking at this like, why would someone go through so much trouble?
that's it. That's it. And so the first couple letters didn't have a return address, but by the third letter, the return address was Gordon Massey's house.
Like, as
So,
if he's writing these letters himself?
and like clearly he is not.
No.
So they're terrified because they literally have in writing that someone's going to come shoot their child, but they didn't know what to do because, again, they're like, do we go to the police? What do we do here? So they ended up telling three people, and that's it about this Ron's sister, Ron's sister's husband, a man named Paul Freshour, and Paul's sister. So they've only told 3 people. They're like, "Hey, these letters are weird. What do you think about them?" Which we all do, right? Like, we all need that input from friends and family.
I need to ask something because it's
Mm.
begging me to ask you. Is Massey married?
I actually don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so he doesn't live with a partner, I'm assuming.
I I'm not sure. It doesn't really play into the tale,
Oh,
necessarily.
okay. Because 'cause I'm thinking maybe it's his wife. She's fucking losing her mind.
Yes, yeah. Well, and it's so interesting because in my research for this, I did listen to a couple podcasts that have covered this, and initially, a lot of hosts think, like, this sounds like a woman. Like, this is a woman thing that a woman would do.
Yes, but then I also think, like, women don't usually threaten to shoot kids in the head.
Kids, like young kids.
So that's
So,
that's where that's what I thought at first too. I'm like, "Oh, it's some scorned woman who's,
yeah.
like, secretly in love with the superintendent," but no,
Mhm.
because it goes against everything we are as women. And don't get me wrong, there are fucking
Yeah.
wild women out there, but that's the part that, like, kinda catches me up in my theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Ron Gillespie, I know I'm saying it wrong, guys, I'm trying. He was not the kind of man who just sat around and waited. Like, he's looking at these letters and going, "Who the fuck is doing this?" His wife is being threatened and harassed. He wants to do something about it. He and Paul, his brother-in-law, actually so I imagine them all sitting down at a table and being like, "Who could be doing this?" And they decided that chances are it was a fellow bus driver named David Longberry, a man that they suspected had a grudge against Mary after she'd rejected his advances.
Oh.
So they actually write David a letter and they say, "David, we know what you're doing. Stop. This is ridiculous. Do not continue with this."
I
And
have to say, before you continue, my expectation of my husband is you're not writing a fucking letter.
N
Get in the car and get to these people's houses and figure it out. You're writing a letter? We're not like, that's so
Our
elementary school. Like, "Let me pass you a note."
listen, our men are not writing a letter in this situation, I promise you. I promise you.
Like, I
Matt would
can't.
be Matt would be burning the house down.
Oh, I know. I if someone cuts my husband off in traffic, I'm like, "Oh god. Oh
You're like,
my.
"Here we go.
He's not the
Here we
one."
go."
You know? So I'm just, like, sitting here, I'm like, "They wrote him a letter?" Also, did they not go to this guy's house, like, the superintendent's house and be like, "Hey, any ideas who is, like" the whole thing.
Yeah,
This is
right?
so strange to me.
For a while after they send this letter to David, the letters stop.
So they're like, "Oh, it was David."
So they're like, "This piece of shit. Like, what the hell?" But they did not stop for long. So the next letter they receive, they're like, "We gotta go to the sheriff. Like, this is becoming a problem." So they take a trip down with their letters in tow to Sheriff Dwight Radcliffe, and they tell him about the letters. And Dwight is not surprised at all because there were tons of people receiving these letters.
What do you mean?
Every single letter was about Mary and Gordon's alleged affair.
Stop.
Mhm.
So people in the community are getting letters from whoever the fuck this was saying, like, they're
Yep,
having an affair?
yep. They're having an affair, and you need to stop it. If you don't stop it, here are your children's names, and I'm going to make you pay for it. Oh, yeah, all over the
Stop.
town, all over the
What?
town. So, and I can't, like, honestly, my heart just broke for Mary in this moment, whether she was having an affair or not, because can you imagine how mortifying it would be to find out that, like, all your neighbors are getting letters being like, "Mary's having an affair with Gordon?"
But also, this is a small town. Who is not calling her and being like, "Yo, I got this fucking letter. Like, what are you doing over there?"
So, from what I understand, in the initial stages of this whole thing, people were receiving these letters, but again, similar to Mary at the beginning, being like, "What the fuck is this?" And just
No.
throwing it away.
No,
But
I'm
the odd
calling.
person, yeah, the odd person was going to the sheriff and being like, "Hey, I'm receiving some weird fucking letters with no return address. Figured you might wanna look at this." But
But
I
also,
just
why are you not going to the people it's regarded? Like, it's regarding this family. I would be like, "Hi, I'm your neighbor. Guess what?
we
Please
haven't
stop."
met yet, but I know that you're having an affair with Gordon. So
Where are the girls in this situation?
I know, I know. Well, initially, everyone was kind of just like, "Oh, well." Uh, so anyway, feel real bad for Mary because I can't
Ugh.
imagine after can you imagine having to go to the grocery store after being at the sheriff's office and realizing that everyone in town is getting letters about you?
I need to say
I
something. 'Cause I've been this girl. Living
can't.
in a small community in the valley, like,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
ev and I don't know what it is about me. I don't know what it is, but, like, I would hear rumors, and I don't know if it's because I owned a
Mhm.
business and, like, I essentially kept very quiet about my personal life, and everyone wants to know,
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But, um, I would hear rumors about myself that I wished were true. I was like, "That sounds wonderful," but unfortunately, no. Like, I feel for this girl so much because I have
Yeah.
been in her shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is just it. This is just it. Like, I can't even imagine realizing that, well, it's not just us getting these letters, it's literally everyone. So this is devastating. But then it escalated because the writer decided to try something else. Signs started going up all over the community.
Stop.
So think like lawn signs during like elections, but it was basically like, and I don't know exactly what the sign said, but I imagine it was like, Mary Gillespie is a whore, and and the letter writer was obsessive about Ron and Mary's daughter. So a lot of the signs had to do with the daughter, which is fucked up because she was
That's so
young at
fucked
this
up.
time. Yeah. Some sources, and I'm like, oh, this is a daddy. Some sources claim that Ron would get up super early and drive through town and take down all the signs so that when his daughter was on her way to school, she didn't have to see them.
Oh,
I know.
you know what I would fucking do? Because I'm spicy. I'd be taking pictures with my sign because,
Like, hello. I know.
like, you're
It's so
that concerned
stupid.
about someone else, and also, that's a child. You're a monster.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
That's a horrible
So
thing.
when these signs started going up, like, obviously, Mary was seeing Gordon because she works with him. Like, let's remember that. And he was like, "So I've been getting letters too." And Mary's just like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, what is the solution here?" And they don't know. So they're living in, I can't even imagine getting up every day, like having to get up early and drive around town to make sure that you take down the signs about your underage daughter so that she doesn't see them is a next level of terror.
It's actually that is worse than anything, I think,
I
because you
know.
don't
I
know
know.
who's doing it. You don't know if their threats are real. You're
Yeah.
living in a small community, but also I'm
Yep.
also wondering, like, how are they doing it without anyone in the community seeing them ever?
Well, this is now, to be fair, the letters were postmarked from Columbus, which isn't in Circleville. Columbus is 30 miles away. So it was like, what the fuck is going on here? But it's obviously someone local. They know every detail about everything that's going on everywhere.
This is
Very
so
weird.
fucked up.
It's so fucked up. On August 19th, 1977, Mary is out of town on a girls' trip. So she's with her sister in law, she's with a friend, they're going to Florida. Ron gets a phone call at 10 p.m. Now, we only know what the kids told us. So the kids are at home with Ron. The phone rings, it's 10 p.m. We don't know exactly what was said, but we know that whatever was said made Ron believe he was talking to the letter writer. So the kids are overhearing the conversation and they're like, oh shit. So whatever was said, Ron believed he was talking to the person who was sending the letters.
Okay.
He hangs up the phone, grabs his 22 caliber revolver. His kids are like, where are you going? And he's like, I'm going to deal with this letter writer once and for all. So he didn't tell the kids who it was. He didn't tell the kids who he was talking to and why he was so sure that he knew who this person was. But grabbed his gun, said, I'll be back, got into his 1971 Ford pickup truck, and off he went. 50 minutes later, Ron was dead. His truck had hit a tree. He was not wearing a seatbelt. The coroner ruled it accidental. His blood alcohol level came back at 0.16, which is like almost triple the legal limit.
Yeah. Okay.
His family, Ash, said absolutely fucking not. Ron was not a drinker.
And the kids would have seen Ron drinking.
And I mean, unless he was doing it secretly. But the thing is, like, everyone was saying, you don't understand. Like, he's not a drinker. He's not doing that. So there was something else that was
Yeah.
weird.
Mhm.
Ron's gun had been fired once. So there was a casing, an empty casing in the truck with him, but investigators couldn't find a bullet. Couldn't find a bullet hole, just the casing, which led them to believe that at some point Ron, out his window, shot his gun.
What the fuck? So he
Mhm.
obviously the person on the phone, he had an like, he obviously had a destination in mind when he left. Grabbed his gun, he's like, "I'm gonna go find this person."
And he told the kids he was going to deal with the letter writer. So whatever phone call that was, maybe, like, did he recognize the voice?
Yeah.
Right? But it's just weird. The alcohol is weird. And,
Yeah.
some people say Mary was out of town. Maybe Ron was a drinker. Maybe he was like, "Oh, finally that bitch is off my back. I can have a couple drinks." Like, I don't know. I don't know. But everyone they spoke to said it was just so highly unlikely. Like, Ron did not abuse alcohol. So,
You're throwing me. You're throwing
oh,
me so
girl, I'm
my
telling
mind is
you,
spinning.
I'm telling you. So it was classified as an accident, like a tragic accident. Now, Paul, which is Ron's brother in law, pushed them to look harder. He was like, there's no way that this is random. The kids are saying he told them he was going to get the letter writer. That's what happened. Like, something's not adding up. But they're like, I don't know what you want us to do. And the letters kept coming.
Stop.
They did not slow down for a second after Ron died.
I'm fucking
And
moving at this point.
right? Like, I'm out of here.
Mhm.
And it just, I can't imagine living the way Mary had to live because so her husband is gone. She's the
Yeah.
widow now. She's got kids to raise. And every day she woke up, she was probably like, what will today bring?
That's horrible. That's a horrible way to live. And now
Yeah,
your partner's gone, your protector, the dad, like, this is just
exactly. Exactly. So the sheriff's office tapped phones. They watched houses. They worked with the postal service. They tried everything they possibly could, but it was years of nothing. And the letters kept coming.
for years.
Years.
Years. I can't.
Postmarked Columbus. I know. No return address, block handwriting. And they knew things. People were starting to get letters like while there was always this undertow of like Mary and Gordon, it seemed to shift after Ron died. And people were getting letters where this person knew specific things about their finances, their relationships, their private
Stop.
lives. Oh, and the new thing that this letter writer was on about was that the sheriff had been involved in a cover up in Ron Gillespie's death.
This is so Bridgerton to me. That's the first thing that came to my mind. It's like that
I
person
know.
knows everything.
I know. It's like Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
So weird. So the whole town was whispering, who is it? Are they local? How do they know so much? But the whole town was whispering about something else too. Because after Ron died, Mary and Gordon Massey began a relationship.
Oh,
Now,
stop it.
they swear that they were not involved at all prior to all of this, and that it was actually the letter writing that drew them together because it was like birds of a feather, right? Like they were constantly talking about this. Ron
It's kind of like
dies.
it's like, you know what, if they're gonna talk about it, let's just kind of do it, and then they're not gonna have anything to talk about, but kinda
Mhm.
suspicious. But I don't know.
I know.
Listen, everyone needs to live their life, and she probably found some kind of peace within this man who was also involved in this whole thing.
Here's the thing, and we see stuff like this all the time. Like, actually, this happens more often than not because, especially when there's trauma and you're going through the same trauma as somebody else. I read somewhere that like survivors of 9/11, a whole bunch of them ended up together.
It's trauma bonding.
Yes, yes. So,
But
but
I don't fucking you know what? I don't care if they were having an affair.
well,
Mind your
no,
fucking
nobody
business.
deserves this. Yeah, nobody deserves this. Even if they were having an affair, like, here's the thing, and people might get up my ass about this. I understand, like, if you've been cheated on, which I have been,
Mhm.
um, it feels awful. It's
Yes.
not a good place to be. It feels horrible. It's life altering. I get it. At the same time, God, calm down.
Right?
So they fucked around. Like, is that worth all of this shit? Probably not.
My god, get a hobby.
Yeah.
Crochet, do something. Read a
Crochet.
book.
So, Ash, in 1983, 6 years after Ron died, the letter writer stopped writing.
'Kay. 6 years? It took 6 years?
It was, they were getting letters. By the end of this, I'm just going to tell you, thousands of letters were written and received in Circleville, Ohio.
Okay.
Okay. It's crazy. All right. So the letters stop, but they still don't have peace. They still aren't feeling peaceful by any means. They're just like, when does the next shoe drop? And then it did. Mary is on her bus run. She's driving and she looks on the side of the road, and mounted to a fence post is another sign. And I will be honest with you, I did not look very long for what this sign said because it's not a lot of places. And I got to the point where I was like, I actually don't want to know what the sign said, because apparently it was something horrific about Mary's now 13-year-old daughter.
What the fuck? Okay.
So Mary has, and I'm like, Mary girl, we feel you. Ashley and
Yeah.
I got you. Mary has a crash out, a
Yeah.
full crash out. Girl pulls the bus over. She's like, nobody move. She hops out of the bus. I just picture her like storming through this ditch towards the sign. And as she goes to grab the sign to rip it down, she's like, what the fuck is this? There's a twine running from the sign to a small box nearby. And she's like, what in the fuck is all this bullshit? So she rips the sign down, grabs the box, gets back in the bus, shoves it beside her because she doesn't want any of the kids to see what is written on this sign, carries on with her day. Okay. Because what are we doing here? Like, she's just fully done with all this bullshit, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to your kids. Like, I would be fucking losing it.
So she has not looked in this box.
No, she carries on with her day. She does her job. She does whatever. At the end of her shift, as she's cleaning out the bus, she grabs the sign, she grabs the box, she goes into the garage. She's like, what the fuck is this? Opens the box, and Ashley, you're not ready. In the box, she finds a loaded 25 caliber pistol. It was rigged to fire at whoever pulled that sign down, but the
Stop it.
mechanism had failed.
What the fuck, dude?
Yes. And I have pictures
Oh
of
my
this
god.
box, and I cannot wait to share them with you guys, because what the fuck? It was a booby trap meant
Oh,
specifically to lure Mary to the sign. It was on her bus route.
yep. Yep.
They knew, and they made the sign so offensive, so disgusting, that they
That she wouldn't
knew
just drive by.
that she wouldn't just drive by. So she brings it to the police, obviously. Investigators from Ohio's Bureau of Criminal Investigation got to work. Whoever it was had tried to shave off the serial number, but they did a really shitty job and they were able to
Um,
see it. So they run the serial number and it comes back to this guy. I believe his name is Wesley. So they go to Wesley and they're like, what the fuck, Wes? What's this? And he says, oh, yeah, that was my gun, but I sold it to a guy a few months back. And they're like, okay, who? And what Wesley said to them made their blood run cold because Wesley said, well, I sold it to a guy I work with. His name is Paul Freshour,
Okay.
which is the brother-in-law.
No. Oh my god. Oh, you're just my heart, my 42-year-old heart.
I
Stop
know.
it. Is this
Mary's,
true?
this is
Is
a
this
true
story real?
crime. Yes. Mary's brother-in-law and Ron's brother-in-law. So this was Ron's sister's husband. This man had spent 6 years pushing investigators into, look harder at Ron's death. It wasn't an accident. The man who was one of only 3 people that were told about the letters at the very beginning. So police go, lights ablazing to Paul's house. And he's like, no, 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 no. That gun was stolen from my house weeks before the trap was set. He's
And
like,
you
I
didn't
have an
report it?
alibi. I have an alibi.
Okay.
Um, his defense, because he goes to trial, like they were like, it's him. It all makes sense. His defense attorney stood in front of that jury and asked them who stood to gain if Paul went to prison. But no one could answer that question because Paul's saying this isn't me, I'm being set up. And they're basically saying, like, we got to figure out who stands to gain if Paul goes to prison. And the answer was nobody could come up with an answer.
What?
Now,
What is happening? This
I'm going
is
to tell you a couple
great.
things.
My heart is racing.
I know it's fucked.
Mhm.
So by this point, Karen, which was Ron's sister, Karen Sue, and Paul were divorced. So they were
Okay.
estranged. They had split up earlier on. They weren't together. Karen Sue gets on the stand and says, Paul wrote the letters. She said she'd found torn up drafts in the toilet, hidden copies around the house, and investigators did find letters in his home and his truck.
Okay, hang on for a second because you knew your husband was the fucking letter writer and you didn't say anything, you fucking lunatic?
Right?
Like, that's your niece. That's your brother. Your brother died
Mm-hmm.
because of this. This poor
Yeah.
woman is being literally tortured daily. And you're
Yeah.
just like, well,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. That
So,
sounds like a scorned ex-wife to me. She's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to fucking get you. Because if you knew, you wouldn't have done that.
yeah. So police tried a few things. They tried a couple things here. First thing they did was they brought in one of the letters and they brought in a blank piece of paper and they said to Paul, we want you to copy this exactly as it's written. Uh, a handwriting expert at the time said the writing matched Paul's. He
But
failed a
here's,
polygraph.
oh, you failed.
Mhm.
Okay.
So shit is looking bad. Paul is swearing it wasn't him, that he's being set up. However, in October of 1983, Paul was convicted of the attempted murder of Mary Gillespie, sentenced 7 to 25 years, and everyone exhaled because they were like, this piece of shit. We figured it out. We found it. For a moment, everyone breathed. But Ashley,
Don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare do this to me right now.
the letters did not stop. Paul Freshour is sitting in a prison cell, and the Circleville letters keep arriving, hundreds of them, flooding the town the same as before. Now, the prison warden is losing his noggin. Okay. He's like, what the fuck? So, what they end up doing is they pull all paper, pens, everything from Paul's, like anywhere Paul was, They banned paper and pens. They were like, "Nope." Guess what? They kept coming. The letters kept coming. It got to the point where they put Paul in solitary confinement because they were like, "Paul, listen, you probably don't deserve this, but we got to lock you away for a bit to see if the letters stop." Because then they were like, he's talking to someone on the outside. It's got to be that the letters kept coming, Ash.
Stop it. Now, could it have
And
been like a copycat that like
the
did they
writing
did
was
they
the
check the
same.
handwrite Oh my
Yeah,
god. I'm gonna put my head through the wall. Like, I'm
I
actually
know.
could you imagine being an investigator and being like, "What in the fuck
No,
is happening
I
here?"
actually can't imagine. And then Paul received a letter in prison. It said, "Fresh hour. Now, when are you going to believe you aren't getting out of there? I told you 2 years ago when we set them up, they stay set up." What?
Who?
Right?
This is
What do you
someone in law
mean?
enforcement. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh
What?
my god. I'm shook to my core. This is the first story that
I
has
know.
really fucked me up this much.
I know. I know.
You couldn't even make it up. Like,
I know. Okay. So, like, what? So, all of their thoughts about, oh, this is Paul, this is Paul, this is Paul. What do you mean? Where are the letters coming from? The man does not have access to a fucking thing. They locked him away in a brick room with access to nobody for weeks, and the letters still kept coming. Ash, all the letters stopped in 1994, the same year Paul Freshour was paroled. Okay, so I want to tell you a couple things, which isn't going to clear anything up. It's just going to make you more confused, but it's part of the story, so bear with me. The handwriting analysis used against Paul at trial was deemed to be compromised because investigators had asked Paul to copy one of the actual Circleville letters by hand. That is not how forensic handwriting comparison works. You
no.
don't have someone reproduce the evidence directly. You get independent samples and you compare them.
Mhm.
This methodology should not have been the cornerstone of conviction. Like, it is unfounded. You can't do that. Because psychologically, if you put something next to somebody, they're going to automatically copy it
Mhm.
as they see it.
Exactly.
Now, the main witness against Paul was his estranged, really angry wife.
That was a big no-no for me. Right away, I'm like, "She's
She
pissed."
had she had major financial gains if he went to prison. Because think about it, he doesn't have access to his whatever he has coming in, but she would. It would all go
Okay,
to her.
and let's just for a second, because I have a theory. It's probably wrong, but this
All
is my
right.
opinion only. Let's say, you know how sometimes sisters and brothers are really close? Besties.
Mhm. Mhm.
The love of your life, that's your brother, that's your
Yeah.
that's your partner, life partner before,
Yeah.
not in a weird way, but
Yeah. Yeah.
So then he marries this beautiful woman.
Mhm.
And now his focus is not on his sister anymore, but is on this beautiful woman. And she's like, fuck her. She's jealous of her beauty. She's jealous of the fact that all of her brother's attention is now on another girl.
And I will say, if I were to land on an opinion or a thought,
Mhm.
that would be what it is. I'm like, it's got to be Karen. That's why they found the letters in the house. That's why they found that's why the gun that was used was Paul's and blah 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 and all this shit.
But,
But
but if she was hell bent on framing her ex husband, why would she continue
mhm.
the letters? Because there's then the
Yes.
chance she gets caught.
Yes. Why
Ah,
would you keep the letter? And that is what gets me on that theory is why would you keep the letters going? If you managed to do what you wanted to do, which was put your husband away, you would stop the letters because then police would be like, it's him. See, the letters stopped.
unless you've been doing this for years, you're getting a thrill, no one knows it's you, it's like an
Maybe.
addiction at this point. Now it's almost like bloodlust, but for like in a different way. So
Hmm.
she can't stop because she's compulsed to do it, like, this is, like, her thing.
I know.
I
Okay.
am
I told you.
ugh!
CBS 48 Hours investigated this case in 2021. They brought in Mary Ellen O'Toole, a former FBI profiler, the woman who built behavioral profiles on the Green River Killer and the Unabomber, someone who has looked into the eyes of documented monsters and mapped out how their minds work. Her read on the Circleville letter writer, serious personality disorder, a deep
Mhm.
need for power and control, the kind of pathology that you just can't hide from. The people in your life see it, it leaks out. And nobody in Paul's life described him that way. His colleagues, not his friends, his family, it stunned all of them when this all came out. O'Toole also made a point about the booby trap that I keep coming back to. The letter writer spent years being invisible, meticulous, anonymous, etc. Setting up a physical trap that could be traced through a serial number back to your own garage is not how that person operates. It just
No.
isn't. And this is what Mary Ellen was saying, like, that's inconsistent. So her conclusion is that the booby trap may have been placed by someone else, someone who used the chaos of the letter campaign to try to kill Mary and make sure someone else took the blame. Now, here is the counter argument, and I want to be fair because it is not nothing. 48 Hours also brought in forensic document examiner Beverly East. She is independent. She's not connected to the original trial or any police force. She does her own thing. She examined 49 of the Circleville letters alongside confirmed samples of Paul's handwriting. And she did find something, a capital G. In Paul's handwriting, the capital G looks almost exactly like the number 6, which is an unusual way to write a G. It's
Yeah.
very distinctive. That same G appeared throughout the Circleville letters. Beverly did not hedge. She said she would swear on the Bible in court of law that one person wrote all those letters and that person was Paul. So now you have two experts.
Yeah.
One saying the behavioral profile rules him out completely. It is not him. One saying the handwriting makes it him.
Yeah, but have you ever forged your mom's signature on a note to get out of class?
I know. I know.
I know how my mom writes her name. I could if it was something distinct, you could figure that out. Because this person is all obviously very stealthy. If they ever saw
Mhm.
anything that he wrote, they'd be like, "Oh, that's unique. Let's throw that in."
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's one other thing I want to tell you before we wrap this up, because there is no conclusion to this because we don't know. So Paul did die in 2012 of a heart attack. So he's
No
gone. We
shit.
have nothing. Yeah, right? Like, I'm like, well, yeah. Do you remember me talking about the other bus driver, David Longberry?
Yes.
Okay, so later on throughout the years, it was found that David raped an 11-year-old girl.
What the
And he ended up going on the run when police were like honing in on him, and he ended up killing himself.
Okay.
Some people say, was it David this whole time? And they were right from the beginning because remember, those letters stopped for a bit after they were like, we know it's you, David. Stop being an idiot.
Yeah.
So some people say that wasn't looked into deeply enough. And it wasn't until years later that we see that David is actually a fucking monster and a
Yeah.
child predator. So I don't know. I don't know.
You really fucking fucked with me today, let me tell you.
Isn't this fucked up?
When this
So the
episode's
tr
over, you and I will be having a very stern conversation.
so this is the thing, and this is what I was saying at the top of the episode. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know because the closest thing I can get to is it's got to be Karen, but then again, why would you keep writing the letters when Paul was in prison? That is putting a seed of doubt in
Mhm.
everyone's mind. If your end goal was to send Paul to prison for this,
Yep.
you would stop writing the letters. You wouldn't keep it up.
I don't understand. Like, if it was her, why would you do that to your niece? Jealousy? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
Then we've got this
So,
fucking piece of shit child molester and rapist.
yes, that we didn't know was a rapist until well after the fact.
Yeah.
So, the last little piece of info that I'm going to give
Ugh.
you, and to me, this is nothing. To other people, they say maybe there is something to this. Mary Gillespie has never publicly spoken about this ever. She declined to be interviewed for Unsolved Mysteries and
Mhm.
48 Hours. She's been quiet about this for decades. She doesn't talk to anyone about this ever. So,
Yeah, and?
to me, I know, to
Yeah.
me, I'm like, I would be the same. I would be like, that was the darkest years of my
Mhm.
life. And I don't need to revisit that. Some people say, does her silence mean something?
If she knew indefinitely who did this, after everything her daughter went through, she would say. I think she's just could you imagine
I think
how
so
fucked up
too.
are we right now? Imagine, like, you're suspicious of your sister-in-law, you're suspicious of your brother-in-law, you're suspicious of this
Everything.
fucking guy that raped it. Like,
It's
like,
crazy.
you would go absolutely insane because you would trust no one ever again. So why would she put herself out there?
Yes, exactly, and I'm on board with you on this. I don't think it means anything. I
No.
think Mary was like, "I'm done with this, and I don't ever wanna talk about it again," and I think that's fair. I would
Yeah.
probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, that's the Circleville letters, and
You
to this day, no
you
one
thought
really
I
knows the
knew about
truth.
this, eh?
I thought maybe
No?
because it has been covered by, like, 40 Hours, Unsolved Mysteries, and all these things, but I don't know if it's talked about very often because it's infuriating. Like, because at the end of it, we got nothing. I got nothing, friends. I have no thought
Wow.
in my head. None of it makes sense. None of it adds up. I don't know what happened here.
Well, well, well. You really brought
Mhm.
something for me today. I
Uh,
appreciate the story, but I'm very sorry to Mary and her daughter. That is
I
horrible.
know.
The loss of her husband, that's horrible.
Mhm.
I don't think you would ever get over that. You're not getting over that because you
Well,
don't know.
no, and you would always question. I don't know, there's just so many questions.
Yeah, that's horrible.
There's so many questions. So, that's it. That's all I got for you today.
Guys wanted to continue this conversation, subscribe, come in. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
an entire group chat where we
Yeah.
shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about our personal lives. Sometimes we talk about the chaos of our lives. Sometimes we talk about true crime. We share, we dig. I want to see everyone there. I want to get to know every single one of you.
Yeah. And that being said, we have quite a few members who have signed up. Thank you. That aren't in our group chat.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing this and you're just not sure how to do it, or if you need help getting into our Discord chat, shoot us a message. I will walk you through it and we'll get you part of the conversation because we want you there. So thank you all for listening. We appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you all on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.